Alright, we are recording. Alright, there you go, guys. Yo, what's up, guys? This is Andre Kenshin. It's finally time to happen for the fifth consecutive. This is the fifth consecutive my 2025 NCAA tournament predictions, also known as the NCAA March Madness predictions. For the fifth time in a year, Andre Kenshin was about to upload for the 2025 NCAA March Madness basketball predictions, the road to the 2025 Final Four in San Antonio. As you see it many times right now, every years, there's so many futures and so many memories. Every time, every year, but every wrong brackets, including upsets, and never seen this before. Last year, the Yukon Huskies makes history. They are back-to-back champions. The Husky coronation, the number one seed, they defeat Purdue Boilermakers, the Yukon Huskies, to secure the college six national championships without any losses. So as you can see, this year in 2025, we got the number one seeds in this year's 2025. We got Auburn, Florida, Duke, and Houston. No one is surprised this is Duke right here. As you see, Duke Blue Devils are the number one seed, led by the famous Cooper Flag. It's gonna be good. I like Cooper Flag to get in. There's gonna be several times it's gonna be. Cooper Flag is the world's famous game, or should be the NBA draft. On the other hand, Yukon Huskies surprising the number 8 seed after a struggle during the November during the tournament, but 3 games lost to falling to number 25. Kansas fall to the number 7 seed, but they end to many longest tournament streaks, and Gonzaga will return for the 26th time ever, and Michigan State is also in the tournament. So this would be the top 4 seeds for features in the South region. Start off with the top 4 seeds in the South region. We got the Auburn Tigers, Michigan State Spartans, Iowa State Cyclones, and Texas A&M Aggies. For the West region, the top 4 seeds in the West region, we got the Florida Gators, St. John Red Storms. How about surprise those St. John's Red Storms? No matter surprise, it was the defending hometown for St. John's in the home of the New York City. Famous is right there. Texas Tech Red Raiders and the Maryland Terrapins. East Regional for the top 4 seeds, we got Duke Blue Devils, Alabama Crimson Tide, Wisconsin Badgers, and Arizona Wildcats. And then for the Midwest region, we got Houston Cougars, Tennessee Volunteers, Kentucky Wildcats, and Purdue Boilermakers. Should be interesting. So now, without further ado, now it's gonna be ready to go to work there. So the road to the Final Four in San Antonio. Will be the 5th consecutive upload of all time. Every time we're making upload so far, and this is why right now there's so many upsets. So hopefully you will see tomorrow night we will return the coin flip challenge. Will begin at LA. This is gonna be the road to the coin flip. I think we'll be ready to go. So no further ado, we're setting up and ready to go. So it's gonna be the road to the Final Four for the 5th considered my March Madness predictions. It's gonna be should be interesting fun. And now without further ado, let's get started off. And here we go. Start off in the South region from Atlanta. We got the Auburn Tigers taking who's the winner. The winner of the game between Alabama State or San Francisco. I think the Auburn Tigers will win over the winner of Alabama State or San Francisco. Louisville versus Creighton, and yes, as a Creighton fan, it's very good and every won the first round since the rise of the Creighton fans every year, including they made it to the Sweet 16 right now, and they did not get an Elite 8 last year. So Creighton and Louisville back in the tournament for the first time in 6 years. I think Louisville won the surprise and right now led by Herb Burns. So I'm gonna pick Creighton Blue Jays will win over Louisville. So hopefully don't be Creighton sadly if you don't want to upset. So hopefully you didn't want to win here. So I'm gonna go with the Blue Jays will win over the Cardinals. Michigan and UC San Diego. Surprisingly, UC San Diego makes his first tournament appearance in franchise history after downgrade to Division 2 to move up to Division 1, to move down to Division 1. Michigan and UC San Diego. I'm gonna take the Wolverines to win this game over UC San Diego. Texas A&M and Yale, and I'm going to history repeats itself. We got the first upset in the true upset in the first upset of the 2025 in March Madness year. I think I'm gonna go with the Yale Bulldogs. They did it again, just like did Auburn last year. I think I'm gonna go Yale Bulldogs. Looks upset over Texas A&M. I'm gonna be doing Yale will win. Next up, we got Ole Miss or the winner of this game between the San Diego State or North Carolina. I'm gonna say I'm gonna be another upset right there. I'm gonna go with pick winner with North Carolina. Where North Carolina will defeat over San Diego State and will defeat over Ole Miss. We're moving on. Iowa State take on Lipscomb, and think I'm gonna go set Iowa State will win this game over Lipscomb. Marquette take on New Mexico. I think I'm gonna go with Marquette. Golden Eagles will win this game over New Mexico. It's been a while since New Mexico has last tournament. Let's see what's the last time New Mexico have made this tournament so far. Last time New Mexico Lobos were in a tournament since it was It was 2024, didn't happen last year. They lose to Crimson. That was the last tournament for New Mexico. Made it to the tournament. So I'm gonna go with the Marquette Golden Eagles will win this game over New Mexico. Michigan State Spartans, the number 2 seed, take on Brian Bulldogs. So I think I'm gonna go with easy here. I think I'm gonna go with Michigan State will win this game over Mark Brian. Next up for the second round matchup of the South, we got Auburn and Creighton. And I'm gonna upset because like my favorite team to upset Creighton. I'm gonna go the Blue Jays will stun the young Auburn Tigers. Last time Auburn Tigers was made it to the Final Four, it was 2019. They lose to Virginia so close in a 1 point lead and ended up controversial foul on Auburn. So I'm gonna upset the Creighton Blue Jays will fly for the fourth time in the last 5 years. They are in to the Sweet 16. Michigan Wolverines take on Yale Bulldogs, and they're gonna go with the Wolverines will win this game over Yale Bulldogs. I'm gonna say they're gonna go with the Yale in the outs. I'm gonna go with Michigan Bulldogs will win over Yale. Next, we got San Diego State or North Carolina versus Iowa State Cyclones. I'm gonna go with the Cyclones will win this game over the winner of San Diego State or North Carolina. But Cyclones last season lose to I think they lose to the Illinois 5-9. Did Illinois make it yet? He still made it to the tournament. So I'm gonna set Iowa State fans. I'm gonna say the Iowa State Cyclones will win over San Diego or North Carolina. Marquette and Michigan State. This was the rematch of the 2 years ago for 2023 tournament. That was the Michigan State upset Marquette. I'm gonna say the Spartans will win in this game over Iowa State, and we're moving on to the Sweet 16. So we got the Sweet 16 here. We got the Creighton Blue Jays take on Michigan Wolverines, and I think I'm going to upset again because of Creighton fans. I'm going to Wild again, led by Ryan Kalkbrenner, Defensive Player of the Year, because of Creighton is very strong, and since they always lap the highest seed since the struggle due to the losing in the tournament. So I'm gonna set the Blue Jays will return to the Elite Eight as the Cinderella Creighton will be making. Iowa State and Michigan State. I'm gonna set the Michigan State will win this game over Iowa State to get in the Elite Eight. So we got in the Elite Eight matchup, we got Creighton Blue Jays take on Michigan State Spartans, and the Cinderella, my favorite team, has come to the end. I'm gonna say the Spartans will win this game over the Creighton Blue Jays. We are into the first team to the Final Four to win the South region. Moving on the right side in the East region, we got the Duke versus the winner of America or Mount St. Mary's. I'm gonna go Cooper Flag will win this game as the number 1 seed Duke Blue Devils dominated the 16th seed Mount St. Mary's. Next up, we got Mississippi State and Baylor. I'm gonna go with Baylor will win over Mississippi State. Oregon and Liberty, I'm gonna go with Oregon will win this game over Liberty. Arizona will dominate over Akron Zips. Next up, we have BYU and VCU. I'm going to go with BYU Cougars will win over VCU. Wisconsin take on Montana Grizzlies, and I'm going to go with Wisconsin Badgers will win this game over Montana Grizzlies. St. Mary's take on Vanderbilt. I'm going to go with the Gales will win over Vanderbilt, and Alabama will defeat over Robert Morris. Let's see, that's how it's going out there, right? So the good right now is the winning in, so there are no wrong brackets. Hopefully, I'm gonna go with the St. Mary's in Alabama. So second round matchup there, Cooper Flag will dominate over Baylor Bears. Will easier moving on to the Sweet 16 to defeat the 9th seed Baylor. Oregon and Arizona, I'm gonna go with the Ducks. Will knock off the Arizona Wildcats. They're moving on here. BYU and Wisconsin, I think I'm gonna go with the Cougars will stun over Wisconsin. Will win this game here as the BYU Cougars will knock off with Wisconsin, and St. Mary's Gales over Alabama Clemson time, and I'm gonna go with Alabama will win over St. Mary's. Next up, we got the Sweet 16 in the East region. We got Duke and Oregon, and I'm gonna go with Cooper Flag will win over the Oregon Ducks. I'm gonna go with Cooper Flag fans. It's Duke Blue Devils. It's very out of nowhere. BYU in Alabama, and I'm gonna go with Alabama Crimson Tide will win this game over BYU to get in to the final, to get in the Elite Eight. And the last spot in the Final Four in the East region, Duke Blue Devils take on Alabama Crimson Tide, and I'm gonna go with Cooper Flag. They will defeat Alabama Crimson Tide. They are into the Final Four in San Antonio. Moving on in the Midwest region, we got Houston faces the SIUE. I'm gonna go with the Cougars will win this game over the SIUE. Gonzaga take on Georgia Bulldogs. It's been a while since Georgia Bulldogs has made it to the tournament for the first time in over a decade in 2015. Let's see how many Georgia Bulldogs are made it to the tournament. It's 2015. They lose to Michigan State as a 10th seed for Georgia Bulldogs. So, I'm going to set the Gonzaga Bulldogs will defeat the Georgia Bulldogs will move on to the Sweet 16. Next, we got Clemson and McNeese, and I'm gonna upset here. I'm gonna go with McNeese will upset over Clemson. I'm gonna get their McNeese really stun the famous with Clemson. I'm gonna set the McNeese fans. I'm going to get in, so I'm gonna go with the McNeese. Purdue and High Point last season. The Purdue made it to the national championship game, but fell short with Yukon Huskies. So I'm gonna set the Purdue Boilermakers will move on to defeat High Point will win it to the second round. Illinois facing the winner of Texas or Xavier. I think I'm gonna go with Illinois will win. I already said Texas will win over Xavier, and then Illinois will defeat Texas. Kentucky take on Troy, and last season, just like that, Kentucky twice in the lose in the 2022 they lose to offset by St. Peter's Peacocks, and then 2020-24 they lose with the Oakland Bears, Oakland Grizzlies, the 14th seed knock off. So I'm gonna go with Kentucky Wildcats for redemption. Will win this game over Troy. I'm gonna set the Kentucky Wildcats will move on. Next up, we got UCLA take on Utah State. I'm gonna go with UCLA will win this game over Utah State as UCLA Bruins are heated and invaded. So I like the UCLA fans, you love UCLA. So I'm gonna go with UCLA will win over Utah State. Tennessee and Wofford, I'm gonna say Tennessee will win over Wofford. So I'm gonna go with Tennessee will win this game. Next up, we got the second round in the Midwest. We got Houston and Gonzaga. I'm gonna say we're gonna go with a Gonzaga. You were not going to in the Sweet 16 the last time. Bulldogs not in the Sweet 16. It was 2014 Gonzaga every time made it to the Sweet 16 for the 10th time except for 2020 that was due to the COVID. So, I'm gonna go with the Cougars will win this game over Gonzaga. We'll move on. McNeese take on Purdue. I'm gonna go with the Boilermakers will win over McNeese. Illinois and Kentucky. I'm gonna go with the Wildcats there will win this game over Illinois. It's a good game now. And then UCLA and Tennessee. Actually, I'm gonna go with Tennessee will win this game over UCLA. Next, we have the Next, we got the Sweet 16 in the Midwest. Purdue and Houston. I'm gonna go with the Cougars. Will win this game over Boilermakers. Kentucky and Tennessee. I'm gonna get with Kentucky. Will win over Tennessee. We'll move on to the Final Four, and then after we move on to the Elite Eight in the Midwest, and then final spot in the Elite Eight on the line. We got Houston Cougars take on Kentucky Wildcats. I'm gonna go with Kentucky Wildcats. We'll move on to the Final Four, upset over Houston. Next up, and finally we are in the last one in the West region. We got Florida Gators, the number 1 seed, take on 16th seed Norfolk State. I'm gonna go with the Florida Gators. We'll move on, pass over Norfolk State. Defending back-to-back champions, Yukon Huskies take on the 9th seed Oklahoma Sooners. I'm gonna go with the Oklahoma. We'll move on here. Actually, you're moving them, so sorry. Yukon will move on over Oklahoma. Memphis and Colorado State. And I'm gonna do another opposite here. I'm gonna go with Colorado State will stun over Memphis Tigers just like the last year. Maryland and Grand Canyon. I'm gonna go with the Terrapins will win over Grand Canyon. Missouri and Drake. I'm gonna go with opposite Drake Bulldogs. I'm gonna go with the Drake Bulldogs will win this game. The 11th seed will move on. Texas Tech and UNC Wilmington. The Red Raiders are gonna go with the Red Raiders will win this game over UNC Wilmington. Kansas and Arkansas. I think we're gonna go with Kansas will win this game over Arkansas as the 7th seed Kansas, surprisingly, since they lose to the first game and the first loss opposite by Creighton in December, and they back-to-back lost their rival with Missouri. St. John's, the 2 seed, surprise with Omaha Mavericks. Last time St. John Redstones made it to the tournament, and it was 2019 in the last first round. It was 2015. I'm gonna go with the Red Storm win over over Omaha Mavericks. It was Omaha making his first tournament so far this season, surprisingly. Next up, we get the second round. We got the Fitchers, the rematch of the 2014 Final Four. Florida Gators take on defending back-to-back champions Yukon Huskies. No team have never won the championship since the UCLA. They did three-peat with UCLA Bruins, and I'm gonna go Yukon. And I'm not gonna go with it now. The defending back-to-back champions has come to the end, and I'm gonna go with the number 1 seed. Florida Gators will move on to defeat Yukon Huskies. Colorado State and Maryland. I'm gonna go with Maryland win this game over the Colorado State. Drake and Texas Tech. I'm gonna go with the Red Raiders will win or pass over Drake and Bulldogs. And then finally, Kansas Jayhawks take on the St. John's Red Storms. And I'm gonna upset here. I'm gonna upset with Kansas Jayhawks will knock off St. John Red Storm. And this is gonna be good now here. And now for the Sweet 16 and for the West region, Sweet 16. What did the region CD right here? We got San Francisco, New Jersey, and Indianapolis. So Sweet 16 here, we got Florida Gators and Maryland for the West region side, and I'm gonna go with Florida Gators will win over Maryland Terrapins. And then Texas Tech will win over Kansas. We'll move on to the Elite Eight, and then final spot in the Final Four. They're only have top 2 seats right here. They have top 2 seats right here, Duke and Alabama. Final spot in the Final Four in the West region. Florida Gators take on Texas Tech. I'm gonna go with Florida Gators. We'll move on to the Final Four. So we got Final Four in San Antonio. We got 2 seed Michigan State Spartans take on top seed in the West Region Florida Gators, and on the other side, the 1 seed Cooper Flag and the Duke Blue Devils take on 3 seed Kentucky Wildcats. The first spot of the Final Four and four, I'm gonna go with Michigan State Spartans will move on to defeat the Florida Gators will move on. So let's check out the pay-per-view here between those two teams. You see what's going on here? I don't think the Michigan State don't be seen here. I've never seen this before. Here's the votes right there. There's the points. Every time right there, I'm gonna set go there. So I'm gonna go with Michigan State Spartans to defeat over Florida Gators. Duke and Kentucky, and I'm gonna add that this was the rematch of the 1992. It was the famous game-winning shot by Kristen Nettiner, the game-winning shot in overtime. They eventually won the championship in 1992. That was the famous game-winning shot by Kristen Nettiner. Was the most intensity rivalry between Duke and Kentucky, the most championships. And a 10 year ago, with Duke Blue Devils were going to the Final Four to defeat the Kentucky Wildcats. And finally, we got the national championship features the rematch of the 2019 Elite 8 and 2015 Final Four. We got Michigan State Spartans take on Duke Blue Devils, and the famous led by Cooper Flag. Like I said, I'm led by Cooper Flag. Will win here will be now the last time Duke Blue Devils have won a championship. What year did Duke Blue Devils won a championship? Let's see for Duke Blue Devils. We're gonna check out my pay-per-view first. You see, you can check out those guys there, the Duke Blue Devils. Super Flag sitting out an ankle injury, 600 points this season after big time absence. Every time the number 1 seed meets the number 2 seed in the past 2017, let's see what's going on here. The votes. Duke only hit top 25 against top 25 teams, only 3-2. Duke Blue Devils have won 5 basketball championships. They won a back-to-back champs in 1991 to 1992. They won in 2001. They won in 2010, and they won 2015. That was the last championship for Duke Blue Devils. They won the championship in 2015. And for the Michigan State Spartans, they only 8-2 in a good game here in Michigan State. I think we did win a championship. Let's see the championship for only Michigan State. How many did the championship are? The only 2 championships. The only 2 championships. They won in 1979 with with Magic Johnson, and in 2000 they won a championship that was the latest championship for Michigan State. It was 2000 in over 25 years, and then they lose to the 2009 championship against North Carolina in Detroit. So how many times did Michigan State and Michigan State the most running in since they began in 1998 to in 1998 to 2025? That was 27 appearances for Michigan State. Gonzaga, how about Gonzaga? Got their 26 appearance, and then Kansas has been the most longest tournament ever. They got let's see the postseason results. They have since the beginning in 1990. So since the option of Kansas the last time Kansas was not made into the tournament. It was 1989, and then started a tournament run and start over in I think 35-year run except for 2020 due to the COVID. So Kansas every time in 35-year appearance in the series of Kansas Jayhawks fans, I'm gonna get there. So the Duke and Michigan State will be intensity and good. And I'm gonna get then Cooper Flag will win the championship as the Duke Blue Devils will win over Michigan State Spartans, and a tiebreaker will score with 12 points. And when I enter the sweep, and more troops that arrive now, and where's the save? We don't have the save now. There's submit. Let's go, and that will be submit Rockets right now. The 12-point victory for Duke Blue Devils over Michigan State Spartans. 12 points for Duke, led by Cooper Flag, and Submit bracket and boom! There you go. By Duke Blue Devils, they win the championship. And don't want to address right now. Don't want to, you need to use. So there you go, guys. The Duke Blue Devils have won the champions in 2025 national championship. Well, that will it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. We have the first two parts are to be the March Madness picks edition. So that'll do it for now. This is Andre Kenshin. Will we see you tomorrow as the NBA 2K12 will still BC work. Will be Wednesday. Golden State Warriors take on the Miami Heat. Will be here in the American Airlines Arena. This is Andre Kenshin. Say so long, and we'll see you tomorrow for the second. What we're gonna be do the return of the coin flip challenge. This is Andre Kenshin. Say so long for the tournament. Will be reminder. We will see you tomorrow. The return of the coin flip challenge. Sign up and peace out. Good night. Who's gonna win the 2025 national championship? Good night. Oops, I don't click the shutdown here accidentally. One more. And he says starting background recording. And again, here you go. One more try and time to say good night. And see you tomorrow for the coin flip challenge. Peace.